Hello, people. We are back at To The Podcast, episode 201. 201. We are back in the building. It's your boy, International Walk.
It's your girl, Tosh, the co-host with the mostest.
And we back for another episode of us. All the platforms you can catch us on: Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Podcast Index, Podchaser, Google Podcast Player, FM, just about everywhere. Type us in, talk a little shit, and we talk a little shit back. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all the good stuff. Let's get right to it. How are you?
I am doing well. Mentally, I'm probably a 9. Just my emotions have been a little all over the place. I mean, not we're good, I'm good, just life and one thing, not that this was like rocket science, I thought to myself, a lot of the disappointment that we experience is a result of our expectations of other people.
Mm-hmm.
And in those cases, we have to take accountability. We shouldn't have expectations of other people. It's hard not to. You kind of expect people to, you always say to me, watch how I take care of you, And when you think about how it's important how people treat you, always say, watch how y'all treat you. I'm sorry.
I was going to say that was sounding a little broad.
Yeah, I couldn't get the word, watch how I treat you. But how you treat people, how you consider people, you expect the same back, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's human nature, which again may not always be fair.
Do to others as you would have others do to you.
Right, but you can't always control how others do to you.
Right. I'm just saying that's your expectation.
Yeah, that's just your expectation. And so that's that. I'm a 9. Financially an 8, always leaving room for growth, and that's going the way it should. Work is a 10. Work is good, feeling good, busy. Work, even when I start to feel tired, work still excites me. I end up going somewhere or talking to somebody or getting a phone call, and so work is good. And physically, I feel good. I'm gonna say I'm like a 9.5.
There's no half sizes.
There's no half sizes?
We never did half sizes.
Can only be a whole? Okay, well, I'll say I'm a 9.
9 or 10.
I'm a 9. I feel, well, you said 8, 9, or 10.
Yeah, 8, 9, or 10.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, I'm a 9. I'm a little tired. Had not a long day, but a busy day. So that's it. Nothing is wrong. Otherwise, I feel good. But yeah, I think I'm just tired and need some more rest than I've been getting. How are you?
I hope things get a little bit more perky for you.
No, I don't feel down, but I'm looking forward to getting in those sheets.
I feel good. I would say mentally, I feel like a 8. I'm a little drained. I haven't been feeling like myself. Don't want to go into depth too much, but just haven't been. So a 8. There's always room for growth if I'm looking at it at a silver lining. Finances, I would say, is an 8. That's always going to be room for growth there, and it is growing the way it's supposed to be doing. Work, I would say, is a 10. Everything is going great at work. I'm taking care of a lot, doing a lot, and it's working out. So, the union came and see me the other day. That was exciting, but just trying to steal my jobs. But that was exciting nonetheless. And physically, I feel like a 9. I was hurting in my back, and it's kind of subsided a little bit, but it's still lingering. Not as if the pain was a 6, I would say now it's like a 2. But
okay.
It's still like there every depending on which way I sit. And when your back fucked up, you just it kind of like the center of it's like your core, like the center of everything. Any way you move, you turn, and you driving, you trying to look over your shoulder, all that shit's affected. So I'm glad that's it's remedying itself.
It ain't remedying itself. I had something to do with helping.
Well, yeah, you did. I mean, you gave me some massage. I've been doing some stretching when I go to the gym. and taking it easy, not going as hard as I really want to, which is a bit frustrating, but still getting it in. So yeah, that's it.
You said your mental was an 8, but you said you didn't want to get into it.
No, not really.
Okay, that's what we're here for. But I respect your wishes. What's your wows and woes for this week?
Um, I don't have no wows. I mean, no woe. I keep always
You
getting
always
them
see
mixed
it.
up. I don't never have no woes because I don't want to complain about nothing. God woke me up, and I'm happy to be breathing and have another opportunity at life. So I'm always going to be positive about that. Um, no, no down moments. Yeah, it's actually just been work has been pretty positive, and you know that I'm just going to leave it at that.
So that's your wow.
Yeah.
Okay, you
Yeah.
you gotta. I was like, okay, you went back to work.
Yeah, because it's been a little bit exciting, just the stuff that I've been hearing.
Okay.
So yeah, what about you?
My woes would just my woe, not woes, would just be my babies are sick. My two older girls, Aubs and Gigi Madison. Um, so just
They got the strep.
hoping that they feel better sooner than later. And I know just not feeling good, you just don't feel good, and it's a bummer. I'm kind of happy that it's a little bit selfish that it's before the holiday to give them time to recuperate and heal and get better so that
It's not a little
I
bit
can
selfish. It's very selfish, but
I
it's
can.
okay.
Well, it's for them
Yeah,
too. I'm sure they want to
it's a
see
good
me.
selfish, but let's not downplay and say it's a little bit.
I'm
It's a
sure
lot
they
selfish.
want. They're excited too that it's now rather than later.
Yeah. What if
where
they lose? What if they lose their voice or something?
Well, raspy voice ain't bad, but like they probably wouldn't have any appetite.
What if they
And
was like?
that's all right. I just want to hug them. We could write notes to each other. We don't have to talk. I just want to hug
When
them.
they say hi, Tasha, they just say.
Yeah, I just want to see their faces and hug them and yeah, all of that good stuff. So they don't have to say a word. And then my wow is just I'm gonna just again work, kind of piggybacking off of you. Work is going well, on a different level, and it's great. It's great. I'm seeing a lot of the seeds that were planted starting to grow, and that feels good. And so yep, that's my wow.
What happened? This the Quincy Jones estate. So Quincy Jones estate came out and he gave 7 kids $80 million apiece.
Whew.
So we're talking about $500 million.
5, 6.
And a lot of his kids are, or a couple of his kids are famous. They're rich already.
Rashida Jones.
Yeah, Rashida Jones and all that. And I'm on the side of obviously leaving your kids in a better place than now that you're gone. But do you think that you would leave your kids $500 million?
If I had it out, I don't think there's any number. It's not like he didn't live a good life so he could save it for his kids. When you hear people like Warren Buffett say like they're going to spend down so that they don't have any money to leave. Why? I mean, he lived a.
But that's from one extreme to the other. I'm trying to say, the question I'm trying to ask is, do they need that much money, and is it a good thing? And like, I know people are on the side of, yeah, it's my kids, I want to leave them something. But do you have to leave them $500 million? Like, if all of them had $20 million, would that be okay for them to live? And you could do something else with the money, like with that kind of money, you could send some kids to college, like 1,000 kids to college. You could spend the money down without just having it sit, and do some other things to kind of make the world a better place when you leave, if you have that kind of trump. So that's what I'm getting at. So just think along those lines of, not like I shouldn't leave them anything, but of course you want to leave them something. But do they deserve, not, and I don't even want to use the word deserve, do they should they inherit $500 million is what
Well,
I'm
I
saying.
don't. I look at it. They're not inheriting $500 million individually. They're inheriting
Right.
80 million. So if I have a $500 million to spread across 10 kids, then okay, they all get 56 billion. I don't. I'm at 56 million. I and I mean, if I lived a life where I was philanthropic, throughout my life, and I did those things, I I don't feel like I wouldn't feel any qualms about not allocating any funds for other stuff other than my kids, because when I'm not here, I would think, I don't want to say I'm sure because I don't know. I know his relationship was very different with some of his children than it were with others, meaning he was active with some, not so much with others. But let's just say he may have helped them out a lot while
They were growing up and having a great life in
maybe
adulthood.
even in adulthood he may have helped them out a lot. So to think, okay, I'm not going to be here anymore, they're not going to be able to rely on me, but at least I want to make sure that they're good. And if 80 million ain't going to make sure you good, I don't know what is. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that, especially if, and I'm just assuming, I don't know all of the ins and outs of what, other than the music industry, if there were any altruistic measures that he took in his life, as far as, supporting HBCUs or sending kids to college or doing whatever he did in his life. I don't see any qualms about it at all. Like, I mean, yeah, if he had said, okay, instead of 56 million a piece, I'm sorry, instead of 80 million a piece, I'm just gonna leave y'all 70, and then the 10 million that's left from each of y'all, give that to somebody else. Okay, that would have been, I mean, give that to like other foundations or something. That would have been great.
But
But
you're on the side of the majority of your wealth is going to your kin, your sibling. I mean your kids. Like if you had an option, if you had that much Trump or
probably
whatever
all.
Trump you got, you
I
said
would.
all.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if he did,
Even if you know that if I don't leave my kids anything, they're okay.
yeah, I still, yeah, I wouldn't, again, if, especially if I've lived the life where I did those good deeds throughout my life. Okay, now in my death, I want my kids to be okay. And like you said, they may already have been okay. Now maybe they get this money and they may decide to do some other things. But I probably would not have it, like if I had that kind of money, like in my will, it probably said distribute all of this equally amongst the kids. Yeah, that I'm leaning towards, like, that would be my mindset.
I'm on the mindset of on the side of I'm down with leaving my kids something, but I don't think I would split $500 million between them, even if it's 8 kids or 7 kids or whatever. I would leave them a substantial amount of money that they can live forever, and their grandkids, like, they'll have generational wealth. But I wouldn't I wouldn't I would do something. I would do some other things with the money, like. I mean, you hear like a lot of people was saying like you can get your name, you like your name on a building or something. Like, I would just do something really uh, philanthropic where it would last forever, and my kids would still be okay. I'm like I said, if you gave them 30 million a piece, it would be okay. I'm just saying I would be on the side of, I'm gonna take care of y'all. That's number one. But I'm also going to do something that's going to be everlasting. That's going to be lasting forever. I don't know. I mean, I know my kids, and they might not be able to handle $80 million each one of them. Only 5 of them probably can. 3 of them probably gonna fuck it up. I'm just saying that's how I would think as a parent. Like, I would know my kids, and I wouldn't think. I would think, yeah, hopefully I raised them all good, and they're going to do good things with the money. But they might not, and it might be too much money. It might be money that they don't need. I don't know that they're going to do good things with it. So before I leave, and the money I made, I'm gonna take care of my children, and I'm going to do something that's going to be everlasting, that people will remember.
Even if you did stuff like that sort of philanthropic work all throughout your life.
I think that would be my one of the last things that I would do. If I did that all my life, then it tracks. What would I do? And the first thing would be, I'm gonna set my kids and my grandkids up for life, and then that's my last last giveaway.
Okay. Yeah.
I would think on those lines. And again, it's not a right or wrong thing. I just wanted to know what you were saying. I don't find nothing wrong with you splitting it up between your kids. I just thought it was an enormous amount of money, And again, he made the world a better place by the music he's left behind and
Mm-hmm.
produced, and that goes on forever. So I just wanted to think about it on either side.
Yeah, I don't. If he had 700 million and he left them all 100 million apiece, I don't necessarily think I would think in terms of, oh, there's too much money. They wouldn't be able to handle it. I think whatever it was that I
Well, babe, I think if you had like 7 or 8 kids, you probably would know one or two of your kids. Like, I'm gonna leave you this money, but you've been fucking up
I mean,
all life. Like,
but you probably figured that person.
if one was gonna fuck it up, it's probably gonna be you.
Yeah, that's true. But I wouldn't shortchange them because of that. Maybe there was some directive given to other siblings or other people in their life that have been helping them to this point, and like look after your brother. He may blow it, but I
You
ain't
can't
here.
get right, or you got not everybody, but you got that many kids. It's likely you can have a can't get right.
I think if what I may depending if you had a kid, and you wanted to ensure the longevity,
Like
maybe have something allocated where every year they're allocated a certain amount of money or something. I don't know, but that would be my primary and maybe only distinct, whatever. That would be how I would probably allocate my money. Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, I don't think that's right. I mean, right or wrong, that's a good thing. If you drop 80 million in your kid's account, I mean, what the hell? That's always a good deal, and that's leaving them better than you started, than they started, whatever. Planet Fitness had a death in there. Man, 39 years old, died in a tanning bed. Now, so a person died. Where did they die recently in a restaurant we talked about?
I didn't think it was a restaurant. It was an office.
Yeah, office. Okay,
yeah, lady
office
died in her
space in a
cubicle.
cubicle. And you explained to me, because you worked in a place like that before, a corporate office with cubicles, that's plausible. I don't see how,
especially after COVID.
Right. I don't see how this is plausible. I don't know how you can die in a tanning bed. Those places are clean on a nightly basis, and you got people coming in and out every day as the place opens, and you see a guy laying in there stiff as a fucking board in the tanning bed.
And maybe you don't even see him. So I when I saw the story, of course, looking at the comments, people were saying like, oh, maybe every time somebody went to clean it, they always saw that like it was closed, so they thought like, okay, somebody's using it again. But
it's not a closed thing. Your feet stick out.
Oh,
and your head.
No,
I mean, no, it's over, but the top is cut out is what I'm saying. It's not a closed thing.
But if you're just like peeking in, you may not be looking at the whole thing. You may just see it's closed, somebody in there. But somebody commented, was like, I worked at Planet Fitness, and a couple people said, one, they should be closed, even if not, I'm sorry, they should be clean, even if not after every patron, because the expectation is that you'll clean it when you finish. It should be clean at the end of the night or in the morning before they close. So that's where I feel like when y'all open at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, even if throughout the day you kept checking and it's like, damn, somebody in there again, damn, somebody in there again. At 5 o'clock in the morning, you see it close, the light on, ain't nobody in there. Why? That just lets you know somebody dropped the ball. They wasn't checking for it.
That's plausible if you wasn't going in the room to look at it, but that's a little hinky too. And if you actually saw a person in there and just thought, hey, it's a person in there, I can't clean it, that's ridiculous too, because it's like, at night when you close and nobody's in the gym, why is there one person?
That's why I'm saying they must not have been going and even checking for the team. Because even if you thought at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, if your intent was to clean it, but you like, damn, I keep missing it, somebody keep going in there, because you saw that I don't think you can physically see a person in there. I think once it's closed, like the light or something is on. So whatever the indicator is, even if you thought at all those intervals, like, damn, I keep missing it, somebody keep going in. But when y'all closed
and the room dark and everything,
and you see the machine is still on,
yeah.
That's what makes me think nobody must have been checking it. Because if we close I think Planet Fitness is open from I think they close for 4 or 5 hours. Like they're open from 5 a.m. to midnight, something like that.
I didn't know that.
I think so. The close time is a very short period of time, I think. When you are closing or opening, you would think, all right, even if all throughout the day this thing was popping and people was going in and out, Ain't no way in the world somebody in here if I'm the manager or the first person that opens up the gym, I unlock the door. Shouldn't be nobody in here. So that just makes me think nobody was checking it. You couldn't have been. You couldn't have been. If you That's like you show up at your job at when you get there 5 o'clock in the morning and you go in, you unlock the door and you hear somebody flush the toilet.
Yeah.
You're gonna be like, who the hell? Ain't nobody supposed to. I'm the first one to show up. Who in here?
And the machine has a light that shows that it's somebody in it.
I think so. Yeah.
That's how they are. That's how you know. That's how
you don't see
it's
a
safety
person
feature
through
not
it.
to get trapped in there.
Exactly. But now they also said, and I mean, this is a moot point because this could be the way that he died, but the fact that he wasn't discovered for 3 days is the issue. That he had a drug problem and they found the needle in there as what the room or something. So maybe he shot up, overdosed in there. Yeah. But again, y'all didn't find him on day one. Y'all didn't find him on day 2. Now what I didn't know is that Planet Fitness, they're franchised. So different owners, right? So what I did.
That's why there's probably so many like shitty ones, and then it's like some ones that
are good. Because the corporate office was the story I read, it said that the corporate office was contacting the owner for that franchise. So they're not all owned by. It's not like one just corporate brand. They are franchised. Like a Chick-fil-A. Like what happens at one Chick-fil-A, may not happen at another Chick-fil-A.
Are people that busy in life now? Like, am I missing something? Like, people that busy in life where you just don't see a dead person? Like, right before the person had died on the cubicle, a person had died on a plane. And it's like, they took a ride and it's like 3 people in a row. Like, nobody said the person had died. They just was like, he sleep.
Well, that is plausible. You know how I sleep on a plane. Somebody could easily not know I could be sitting there and it's the person next to me.
And if you've never seen anybody sleep and they all relax, you would just think they face relaxed.
Yeah, or if somebody is leaned onto the window, I'm checking to make sure you breathing. I ain't checking for a stranger. I've been on a plane and I couldn't tell you what the person next to me looks like. So
that's crazy.
Because I go to sleep myself, so I'm not worried.
But I would just want to know what the person looks. I know what the person is wearing next to me and what they have on. Like, plane's been hijacked before, babe. And you know what? I'm not even gonna knock you for not thinking like that, because that's not your personality to think cynical like that, especially if you're getting on a plane. I would drive myself crazy. Yeah. So that's not your personality.
If I'm on the street on a bus, it's different.
I sit down and be like, okay, this is a man. He got jeans on and a red shirt. Like, he could pull a fucking razor blade out or something, or something out his shoe, some liquid and squirt on this. Like, I don't know. So I just want to know. Okay, he's an older man. I probably can take him. He 80. Like, that kind of shit. Or this dude, like, 6'5". He big as shit with a tank top. Like, I want to know who I'm sitting next to and what they got on.
I know I'm sitting next to you. Well, we in first class, it's just us. If we, in the regular cabin, we usually take the aisle. I take the middle. It's somebody next to me. I'm sleeping 5 minutes, so I don't know what the heck is going on. But I don't even think it's so much that the world is so busy. I think people are lazy at their jobs, because I would think, I don't know the gym protocol, like what they're required to do. You remember that one time we were at the gym and went to the ladies' room and opened the stall. There was a tampon on the floor, used. And I went to the next bathroom, but when I came out, I let one of the attendants know at the front desk, and she was just like, okay, almost like.
But she wasn't dyke though.
Okay, but it was almost.
She was a
you're a staff member. That's
awesome. She probably threw her off with that. Like, she probably was looking like, fuck, am I supposed? Like, she was in character. Like, fuck, am I?
You work here. But I say that to say, some people, when it comes to their job, it's like, I want to do the bare minimum.
And if you're talking about something like that, like, I remember years ago, I went to Home Depot and I walked in, and in one of the aisles I was going down, there was a big pile of vomit with eggs and shit all in it. Like, right at the as soon as you walked in the aisle, a big ass pile. And I went up to the dude and was like, hey man, I just want you to know there's a guy, he threw up down here, some vomit on there. And he was like, asked like, you might need a cone or something. And I must have been in Home Depot for 45 fucking minutes and got in line, and that shit still was there.
Yeah.
No cone, no nothing. Everybody still was walking around it like, not seeing it, and it was stinking. It was like, I told this dude 45 minutes ago that it was throw up at the end of the aisle.
And I'm gonna say I've never been in a tanning bed.
Me neither.
I would think, and if y'all know, y'all been in a tanning bed, let us know if we wrong. I would think it's sweaty, right? Like, I mean, because there's some heat, you're getting darker. I know people. Well, I've seen people wear like bathing suits, partly because you want your full body to tan, but they wear like bare minimum clothes, or I think maybe sometimes naked. But I say that to say it's probably sweaty. It probably ain't fun to clean them. It probably stinks. Not saying that you should just negate your duties, but I'm thinking this is just a sign of nothing but laziness. I would think within their SOPs, of what's required on a daily basis, whatever staff member is required to do it, that's part of it, that you are, even if the thought is, like we know at the gym, everybody's supposed to wipe off the equipment when they finish using it. I wipe it off before and after because I don't know if the person before me did, and I don't want those germs. But outside of all of that, they still have staff that comes and do it because you can't rely on people doing it. So even if people are supposed to be cleaning the tanning beds after themselves, I'm sure there is some process in place that says an employee is supposed to do it every day, and they didn't do their job. That's horrible.
Yeah, and again, I think that's right, because in the case that the person died in a cubicle, I think the cleaner's supposed to go in at night, vacuum the floors, and empty. Everybody has a little waste basket in each cubicle. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to go in there and empty the trash and put in an empty one in there. So when a person comes in the morning, their trash was empty. I don't know how you don't see a dead person in there when you at night and you cleaning the cubicle. So that person failed on the job.
The only reason why I say that was plausible to me because I remember, and this wasn't actually. I'm sorry, I'm incorrect. This was right before COVID. I had transitioned to a new role. And although I was in the same building and I could have stayed at my same desk, I wanted to separate myself just so that, people who I had been working with before could kind of, I could wean them off of me assisting them. Like stop some of the questions and let me focus on my new job. So I remember saying like, I'm going to grab a desk because there was a lot of open space. It was like, I'm going to grab a desk around the other side. And I would be like the only one. And I'm talking about rows of cubicles. Or I was like the only one on one side. And you look all the way down like, 12, 13 rows down, you might see two other people. Or, if people start leaving, I'm sitting there, I'm working, offices got motion. Yeah. So after a while, it's like you got to wave your hands in the air to make the lights come back on because you've been working so long and been seated for so long, it done got dark. So I've been in the office where, before that office closed, but I've been there where I was the only one. And I think what happens with some cleaning staff, they get used to like, they know where the sections where it's like, our people sit here every day. We know we got to clean off these desks, empty these trash cans. But they know, on the second floor, on side.
There's 10 cubicles that's empty.
Like nobody ever sits over there. So they're probably not. And I don't know if that was the case of that lady, but you would think not just the cleaning people, her coworkers didn't know. Right. How the hell? So you would think that it's an office, especially in this day and age in a world of remote work that is not heavily populated, because how the hell did nobody see Miss Catherine's shoes sticking from under the table?
And she's sitting in a chair that's dead. Like she can't be sitting like she working. She's
and
slumped.
That's right, because she was like laid on the table. Yeah, like, and if you got one of those cubicles with high walls, again, and I'm not saying this to be funny, if it's motion sensor lights, she ain't moving, so it's dark, And
to be honest with you, that's got to be a pretty old play. I'm not saying you're wrong, because you're probably right, but I do this kind of work. I build office spaces. I haven't seen high cubicles in a space in 7 years. I'm serious. So, I mean, again, if she died in a place that got them cubicles when you sit down and they up here.
Well, no, I don't mean high like that. I mean, even if I'm sitting here and the wall is here. Once I put my head on the desk, nobody can see me.
Oh, I thought you meant like
no.
You sit down and the wall is up here. No, you gotta stand up to like.
No, I mean, like, you can't walk past and just see me. Well, so you, in the office that I was in, if you are in any of the end rows, then you can. But if you're between, like, if it's 3 cubicles that go back, if you're in the second cubicle, somebody walking across the main corridor can't see you if your head is down on the desk.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't mean like I'm even if they're just this high, once your head is down, you're out of sight.
Mm-hmm.
But condolences to the family of the gentleman. Such a I mean, either way is horrible. I would think, I hope he didn't like experience a medical emergency or something and couldn't get help, or thinking like, what if he was alive for a little bit but couldn't move or something, and thinking somebody gonna come in here eventually, and they just didn't.
Right.
You know, maybe he just overdosed and that took him out. I don't know. I hope it wasn't like a painful, horrible death.
I mean, I kind of glanced through the story, but the having a needle just makes me think like you shot up and then you laid down, and you know, and I wanted to say like those what do you call them?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The thing he died in.
The tanning bed.
The tanning beds aren't hot. They're UV lights with it's the bulbs that don't get hot.
So there's no heat.
I mean, it
like
might go up a temperature.
Sweat?
No, you don't sweat in there. Now, I'm not saying if you're a sweaty person, you won't sweat in there, but you don't typically sweat in there. Some people lay in there for like a fucking hour or two, but it's not hot at all. It's the bulbs that don't give off the heat.
Okay, like I said, I had no like.
Sometimes they're blue, sometimes they're pink, but it's the rays that it gives off that gives you the tan. It's not the heat.
Okay. Wow.
But I'm sure it goes up a degree or two. Like it probably doesn't stay, you know, if it's
and being like
degrees,
close to your body.
Yeah, I'm sure it goes up a degree or two. But it's not like you lay down and it's 100 degrees.
And not to mention, you know, as far as cleaning. Now, if that's your job, that's what you signed up to do. If people laying in there naked and stuff, it's just probably nasty.
Farting.
Yeah, nobody just probably wants to clean it.
And you don't know who took a shower before they wanted to tan.
Exactly.
That's crazy. Black guilt. I heard about this today. Do you have it? And what I mean by black guilt is we see the world and we see there's haves and have-nots, and we kind of feel empathy to people like the have-nots, and we donated to charities and helped people for Christmas and things like that in our past. But so we have empathy for others or people that have less than us. But why does it seem like it's a problem to celebrate our successes? It comes off as arrogant or boastful, or you rubbing it in a poor person's face. Just to put it in layman's terms. Again, I'm probably not saying it all eloquently, but that's what I mean.
Yeah, so you said, do I have it? I don't.
Well, blacks, but that's what I'm saying, like black guilt. Because a lot of times when you boasting about something, some success or something, you get hate. And a lot of people be like, oh, you know, what the fuck? But it's like, damn, when can you celebrate your successes and the stuff that you work for and how you sit in life?
I think you always can, and regardless of getting hate, it's about, because I think the people who are closest to you, you're not gonna get that hate if they are genuine people. The outside, like, I mean, if you're talking about like social media or something, or even if it's not social media, people who may know you who do give you that hate. I use this as an example. I was talking to DM and one of my little cousins. I say little, she's 30 something, but she's opening a daycare, but she's younger than me, so I say little. She's opening a daycare center, and you know, we was just talking about how, you know, you notice when you doing things and like, and I was saying this to her, you realize who ain't clapping,
right?
You know what I mean? You realize who it's like, that the applause kind of quiet. Like, I don't see the celebration comments, like, you know.
But it affects you though, because.
But what I'm saying is, so that will happen, but I don't think that should stop you from celebrating your success. And what she said, she was like, she gonna say, like the kids say, clock that T, but what's for me is for me. And I think that's the mentality you have to have it. If you know that you're moving with a good heart, with a pure heart.
Great
now,
intention.
I do think that there's a line between boasting and celebrating yourself. I think that's where, no matter who it is, no matter what your success are, I'm not saying, when people say, oh, you need to humble yourself. I don't like when people say, I don't necessarily think you need to humble yourself, but I do think there is a level of humility that we should have even in our celebration, because by the grace of God, those have-nots, we could easily be there. And so I think that's where the fine line is. Yes, of course, celebrate your success, celebrate your achievements, small and large, celebrate it all. So for me, I don't necessarily have any black guilt. I actually enjoy sharing my success, or those things, my accomplishments, in the hopes that it may motivate others. And I have a circle of friends who are successful in their own right, black women who are successful. So we celebrate each other. So I think that's the difference. If you're around people who aren't necessarily achieving or having those same accomplishments of you, then yeah, you may feel the shade. You need to find a new circle.
And I think you speak from a privileged position, and I don't think you can speak otherwise. Like, I don't think you can take yourself out of that and speak from a different vantage point, because you do have friends that celebrate you and you celebrate them.
But I do have family
people. That's what I'm getting
okay.
to. For people who have family, and say you got 20 family members and you do something big and you celebrating, and like you said, everybody ain't clapping, but they're your family. Like, you're not on bad terms with them, but you cool with them, and you realize everybody ain't clapping, or everybody ain't happy, ain't happy for you because you did this thing that you happy about. And it affects you, because you might not care, or you might say, all right, I know where to put you at now, but it comes off like, damn, like, I don't want to do this again because motherfuckers is going to hate. Like, it does affect you. I'm not saying that it shuts you down, or people stop and say, I ain't going to celebrate no more. But it does say, like, damn, I ain't know, like, they was going to be hating on me. Or I ain't know, like, I ain't know she or he felt like that. Like, it does affect, like, you being vocal and demonstrative about your celebrations.
It can, and because we're human, if those who you expect to clap for you don't, yeah, your feelings are hurt.
That's a callback. But expectations.
But I was going to say, we talked about having expectations of others. So I think we have to move with, again, not having those expectations and receiving whatever comes our way, and blocking out the negativity. There's been times in my life, things that I've done where the applause was quiet, but I never let that stop me. It was like, okay, who's for me and what's for me will gravitate towards me. And in those cases, I remind myself of one of the 4 agreements that helps me navigate mentally through things. Don't take it personal. It ain't about you, because they ain't really mad that you doing it. They mad that they haven't done it. Mm-hmm. They're not mad that, look how she's celebrating. It's like, damn, when is it going to be my turn?
And I don't mean to be a cynical person, but I always try, and I think therapy has helped me do this. I try to look at both sides and think from both vantage points. So when it's a lot of videos that's going around of people that pass the bar exam and they're celebrating and things like that, and it's a beautiful thing to see. Like, it cleanses your timeline. It probably brings a tear to your eye, makes you smile and happy for that person, although you don't even fucking know them. But it made me think about the girl sitting there and she's waiting, and they kind of do like a countdown, and you kind of, the light of the screen, you can see it counting down, and then her results pop up and everybody goes off, and she's so fucking happy, and her mom's picture's there. And it just made me think, is everybody in the room happy? Is anybody like, this bitch thinks she all that? But they smiling though.
I mean, unfortunately, it may be so.
And you think that the people in this room are genuinely happy for me. That's why I got them here, because they're going to love when I go off about this. But is everybody in there like... Or she going to act funny now because she a lawyer?
Like, I mean, the thing is, I just heard this song, and I'm not, of course, going to play it because... but it was this song... and the lyrics is what I wanted to see. But anyway, it was saying, bless me, bless, it's by Kirk Franklin and Maverick City Music. And it says, and all of those around me so that they can have what they need. And it's like a fast paced kind of song. And listening to it, it was like, whew, that's powerful. Mm-hmm. Like, God, don't just bless me. Bless all those around me so that hopefully if they're getting blessed, then they won't look at my blessings with shade, or, they won't be praying on my downfall because they're on the uprising. So you never know. And unfortunately, you never will know until it, comes to the surface. And that's all you can do is just pray. Sometimes pray and just ask God, remove those people from around me that aren't for me. However that may look, and that can be painful as hell. To your point, if you got 20 people in the room, it could be two that's like, yeah, 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 clapping, clapping, and then they get in the car like, yeah, you know that bitch, yeah, 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 yeah.
And I
You
mean,
know?
I think it's human, and I think we've done it where it's like even when we were coming up, and you got like a new car that we was happy about, and even when social media was around, like we never posted our cars, even though we were genuinely happy
Mm-hmm.
that we was successful enough to do this, or you Tosh got a car, I got a car. It wasn't like we kind of didn't do those things, and I remember being honest, it was because of how it looks. It
But for,
wasn't because of that's not us. It was more like, nah, that don't look right. And it speaks to me saying we can't do this celebration because other people are going to think we boasting and bragging, and we don't want that.
yeah, but see, I think for me though, a car is different. Like, because I post, and it's crazy because as you say that, I think to myself, I did post it in my close friends when we first bought a house. When we first bought the house, of course, not to show like all the details. It was like, yeah, we were so excited or whatever. And part of that, yes, some of it comes from, you know, not want everybody in your business, and also part of it comes from humility, right? Because you know
Is
that
that black guilt?
I don't think it's necessarily black guilt necessarily. It's being it maybe it's being considerate, but also it's one of them things where material things is the last of the things that I want to celebrate. Like, I remember one Christmas you had bought me jewelry from Tiffany's. Like, it was a lot of stuff that you had got me that was like, I mean, we always have
I
amazing
remember you had
Christmases.
a few blue
And
boxes.
and I had took like just pictures of all the gifts on the table. And to me, it wasn't even so much black guilt. It was like, that don't, I never did that again, because it was just like, the material stuff, it comes and goes. Like, the things that I'm happy to celebrate is our love, our marriage, our birthdays, and just being, our date nights and stuff. Like, I'll post that every Friday, just celebrating us doing us. So for me, it comes from not a place of guilt, but from a place of humility. Like,
Okay.
those who know. Like, I could pop my shit if I want, but I don't feel the need to do so. And I remember I made a reel about a new pocketbook that I got. Not even in a brand. Anybody that knows me know my limit is $300. This bag might have cost a little more than 300, but like, I'm not spending thousands of dollars on a bag. But this was like, me get into like the TikTok, the unboxing kind of stuff. And you even I never posted it because you was like, babe, that's not you. Like, to be like showy like that when it comes to stuff. And it just made me think, like, it ain't. Like, I mean, it's my pocketbook. I'm always going to have it. If I take a picture in an outfit or something with it on, then it is what it is. But, I'm not like, I don't feel the need to be like, ooh, 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 look at my new pocketbook. So again, it comes from more of a place of humility than guilt.
Got you. But I think that, I mean, do you think that's a thing though?
I do
Or do
think
you
some
think it's
people,
parallel with what you're saying?
I I think it's different. I think it's different. I do think some people may have that black guilt because maybe they feel like they owe people something. Like, if you got a new job and, you're making great money, and maybe, your mom or your siblings or something are in the hood and doing bad, then it may be that guilt where you feel like, damn, I've heard people say like they can't enjoy their successes because of the weight that it carries.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like you the one in the family, and you done leveled up, and it's like, you gonna help us out, or now you getting calls for formula and diapers
Or
and all
people
that kind
asking
of
you for
stuff.
money that never did before.
Or even just your core. I'm not talking about you making no like astronaut, but if you making a good salary, your core focus, or your mom or your parents, or somebody looking at you like how you gonna help us out now. So I do know of some people who have had to deal with that, and I don't necessarily, I don't know if that's just a black thing. I don't know if white people have experienced that in their families, but I can imagine they probably have. So I think there are some times that we as people feel that guilt out of obligation. I don't feel, we talked about this before, I don't feel obligated to take care of anybody. So
Right.
I'm okay with sharing my success, with those who I want to. And I know my heart, like I'm never like bragging and being, braggadocious with anybody, because Lord knows God gives it and God can take it away. And I'm just grateful.
Mm-hmm. That was a good topic. I want to talk about the shopping cart theory before we get to the
I don't know
3
what this
grams.
is.
The shopping cart theory is something I read, and I thought it was pertinent.
Oh, this is about putting the shopping cart
It
back.
made me think about life in a different way. And again, a lot of people may have heard this before, but this was the first time I heard it, and I think it applies implicably.
I put this in my story probably a couple weeks ago.
The shopping cart is the ultimate litmus test for whether a person is capable of self-governing. To return the shopping cart is an easy, convenient task and one which we all recognize as correct, appropriate thing to do. To return the shopping cart is objectively right. There are no situations other than dire emergencies in which a person is not able to return the cart. Simultaneously, it is not illegal to abandon your shopping cart. Therefore, the shopping cart presents itself as an apex example of whether a person will do the right thing without being forced to do it. No one will punish you for not returning the shopping cart. No one will fine you or kill you for not returning the shopping cart. You must return the shopping cart out of the goodness of your own heart. You must return the shopping cart because it's the right thing to do, because it is correct. And it just it put a picture in my mind of like all the people we see in the parking lot just abandoning the cart. Like when nobody is looking, they don't give a shit. Nobody gives a shit. There's very few people returning the carts, and you could probably go to a buggy guy, a cart person, and ask them, how many carts do you go out and get that's abandoned or against the ones that's in the bin? And I'm sure it'll be more of the ones abandoned across the parking lot. So most of the people that we live amongst don't give a shit when nobody's looking.
I don't know if I was gonna say, I don't know if I would say most, because when you go to the store, you see the corrals are filled, but that could be the employees that are doing it. But it's enough people that don't. Now, like I said, I posted this in my story a couple weeks ago, and it's so funny. I've said this years ago, and one of my girlfriends, she said, your post years ago is the reason why I put the shopping cart back now. Because I said, I think you're a shitty person if you don't. I really do. And she was like, I remember you post. She said, you're the reason why I put the shopping cart back now.
Hold on, you just wrote that?
Yeah, I just posted that.
No, I'm talking about the first time. You just wrote you're a shitty person if you don't put the cart back?
Something.
We come back from the market or something? And you
I don't know, something
off?
to that effect. I was like, if you don't put the shopping cart back, I think you're a bad person. I might not have said shitty, but I think you're a bad person. Like, you're rude.
That matters. I thought you said the word shitty. I'm not to say
I don't know. I'll find it.
That's not like you to be like, you had to be like coming back from the market pissed off and like, I'm going to write this real quick.
I don't know. Maybe so. I could have wrote it in the supermarket parking lot, because I don't even go to the supermarket that often now. I could have wrote it in the supermarket parking lot. I don't know. But I think that post is very heavy. I posted it like kind of in jest, because people who know me know how I feel about the shopping cart and putting it back. I think it's very heavy, because there's a couple things that I think fall along that same line. People who go to the bathroom and don't wash their hands, because like if you're in a singular bathroom, who knows, right? You can just, or
the ones that, okay,
or
like in the doctor's office.
Yeah, you can just run your hands under water, grab a paper towel. But or if you're home by yourself and you go to the bathroom and you don't wash your hands, I think this falls under that same like self-governing thing. Do you only do the thing that people say you're supposed to do?
We should put a poll up and ask the people out there, do they wash their hands at home when they're by themselves? The bathroom.
I think that people. I
think
if you
show me how to do that anyway.
Okay, I think if you only do that when you're out in public, then that's a problem. Like, I wash my hands. I got to refill. I make sure we have soap dispensers at every sink in our home, kitchen, and all 3 bathrooms. And I need to refill them because we use them. So I think that's a problem. So it's a couple things that fall under that litmus test of self-governing and just doing the right thing regardless of who's around. And I'll also tell you this. There are 3 things that I judge people on not being like a good person. And I'm not saying like you out here stealing and killing, but it's just rude and unkind. Yeah. If you don't put the shopping cart back, if you litter, or if you steal. And I'm talking about like the type of person that like, y'all want to take the label off of a cucumber and put it on,
A box of
radio.
cereal, yeah.
Yeah, in the market to pay, $1.99 instead of $199. Though I like that's those things are disgusting to me. Put the shopping cart back. Do not litter. Like, we are grown, and maybe because it boggles my mind when I see
the things that you
people
used to get a
just
beating for, though, you feel strongly about that.
when I just see
Like, you feel like this is wrong, and I get it. It's you're not wrong in that, but it's like you see people.
we
come
didn't
out
get a
of
beating necessary for littering because it was ingrained in our head. You do not litter, so it was just something I didn't. To see a grown person like come out of the market or come out of a store
Yeah.
and they look at their receipt and ball it up and drop. In my mind, I halfway be wanting to pick it up, but then that's disgusting picking up somebody else's trash. But that boggles my mind. Like, why
Yeah.
are you littering as
You
an
see people
adult?
come out of a store and a trash can will be on the corner. They'll eat what they eat and then throw the trash right on the ground and not put it. And the trash is 5 feet away from them, and they don't. It's not even registering to them because again, it was ingrained in you. But I mean, you heard it in school, don't litter. You heard it on TV once in a while, don't litter. It's a bad thing. But
was a
it
huge
wasn't
campaign.
ingrained in every child like that.
And when you
It
go
wasn't
to,
ingrained like good touch, bad touch. Not to that degree.
Good touch, bad touch wasn't ingrained in every kid either. Like, families didn't have that conversation as often as they should have.
Well,
but I
let me
get
change
what you're
that.
saying.
Your drugs, the drugs.
Say no to drugs.
Yeah, it
yes.
wasn't ingrained like, because you're right about that.
But like, you go to a store, not just a supermarket, any parking lot, whether it's a mall, wherever, and you or a Wawa, you see the piles of trash that somebody decided, oh, let me clean out my car, and you left it there. Like, how disgusting are you?
Yeah.
That is just
that bothers me now. When all the little stuff you're saying, I can like, okay, whatever. But that bothers me, and it pisses me off when this is just jumping left for a second. It pisses me off when I see people working on their cars in a Wawa or a Walmart or some shit like that. You got your car up in the air and you putting fucking brakes on at Walmart or brakes on at Wawa or changing your fucking oil. I want to kick you in the face. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I want to hurt you bad.
It's crazy because the other day I had to run into Acme and I kind of laughed at this in my head because I'm like, nobody would believe me if this happened. I'm walking back to my car and like in the cartoons, I almost slipped on a banana peel. And I was so mad that one, I stepped on it. Two, that somebody decided to eat a banana and throw the peel on the ground. But it was like, I'm like, just imagine me falling. And I would have, like, my legs probably would have went under the car. I would have called you probably crying. But I'm like, you couldn't even write this.
There's levels of trash. If you throw a wrapper on the ground, that's one thing, that's bad. But food, like somebody that throw like
banana peel.
some soup, a banana peel, like that kind of shit you step in, you're like, what the fuck is soup doing on the ground?
Yes.
Like, this shit never happened.
Write this. Like,
or a slice of pizza just on the ground. Like, that's a different level of trash. Like, you're throwing garbage on the ground.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like that level. But yeah, the shopping cart thing, my friends, you recorded me one time. I was going to put the shopping cart back and I seen another shopping cart and it's like you gotta put it back. You got it. Now, I'm not going to be walking around the whole parking lot, but if it's like right there in my pathway, it bothers me. And I give people the eye too. If I see them, I want them to know that I see you not putting it back, and that's horrible. You're a bad person.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad to do, but I don't think you're as bad as she thinks you are. She thinks you should. No, I ain't gonna say she thinks you should die. She don't think anybody should die. Haiti shot down a plane.
I just heard of this.
Haiti shot down a plane.
Say more words.
Spirit Airlines tried to land a plane in Port-au-Prince, obviously, or a little, I think like 10 miles outside of Port-au-Prince, and a town begins with a V. I can't pronounce it. But apparently you're not supposed to land there, and they started shooting at it. And one of the stewardess got grazed. The bullet went through the plane.
Did they think it was like an enemy, or like they saw that it was Spirit? Like,
it's a big yellow plane, but I think you're not supposed to land there, and I think you take that shit seriously. You're in an airspace that is like, it's
Yeah.
military or war. Like, I don't know, over there with Haiti or whatever.
I know recently and I'm gonna say like within the last 6 months or so, I have seen like
But
some
they stopped the Spirit and the JetBlue because I think they're
they
connected
feeders
in
to
some
there.
type. Yeah.
I seen rhetoric on social media about turmoil going on in Haiti as far as like a prison uprising, like some prisoners had escaped and they had like took over a town or something. So I don't know if it's connected to that, but you sure as hell don't wake up and to go to your job as a flight attendant that day and expecting to get shot. And that's horrible.
Grazed.
But I'm happy that like they
grazed
didn't.
is shot to me.
Hell yeah. I'm happy that it didn't end worse with like them shooting it in a manner where like the plane blew up or something. That's horrible.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have. If I would have, Haiti would have to be able. You can go to Haiti. People would have to go to Haiti for 10 years and say everything's great before I would want to go.
Yeah,
like I just don't feel comfortable being. I mean, after what happened in Mexico, I just don't feel comfortable being like that. What happened in Mexico was like an eye opener to like what can happen in another country, and when we look back on in hindsight, it makes you think like how helpless you are.
The poverty level in Haiti is beyond, it's beyond apprehension. I would more so be afraid of not only the police like in Mexico, but just of being robbed. Like, yeah, I'm just, it's not on my bucket list.
When you think about how something can go in Haiti or Mexico, your mind can go left. Let's you say you get some bad cops who want to, I'm gonna take this couple back. I'm gonna rape the fucking wife, and the husband gonna give me some money, and then we gonna drive them somewhere and drop them off, and they don't know where the fuck they are. They're on some fucking street with
you gotta find a U.S. embassy and hope that somebody can help you. Save you. Yeah,
and it's like, and then you so fucking scared that just happened. You just want to get the fuck out of there. So you're not even thinking, let's find an embassy and go through this process. You just thinking, get me the fuck home.
And it's a shame because Haiti is, saying third world countries is no longer PC. It's a developing country. Mexico is a more developed country, and I still feel the same level of fear. Like I've seen people take amazing vacations. So we vacation kind of different where we've experienced.
We get with the people.
I was gonna say we have been at vacations where we on the resort, we stay on the resort, and it's good. But we like also to be able to travel within. So that's the only way I would ever go back to Mexico is if it was like, okay,
don't do the local thing.
This is an
like
amazing, this is an amazing resort, and we're on the resort. They got everything we need here. We don't gotta leave to go nowhere. That's the only way I would do Mexico again.
Yeah, they gotta get their weed laws in order over there. you gotta deal with the cartel and all that shit. I'm out.
Yeah. Next Graham.
Go.
You go because I can't see.
Try.
Name a mistake. No, let's say what is the dumbest thing you thought as a kid?
The dumbest thing that I believed as a kid.
That you believed as a kid.
Oh man, it was so many things.
But just something, name one.
Dumb thing that I believed as a kid, that everybody would live to be 100.
Just 100, like
everybody was 100. After that, you died.
Oh wow.
So I thought everybody got to be 100.
Wow, that's that. I don't know if
that's when I was impressionable. As
a
kid. Like before I realized people die.
I would say for me, if you swallow the watermelon seed, you would get pregnant. And like I was adamant not to swallow watermelon seed.
Dragonfly would sew your lips up.
I never heard that until I got older. But yeah, I was adamant not to swallow watermelon seeds.
Putting butter on a burn.
I
still believe that now.
Yeah, you always say that wasn't anything that
And I come across a lot of people that have never heard that, and I'm just like, damn, I just one of them things where I was like, I thank my nana for that, because it's like maybe your nana didn't teach you that, or that didn't happen in your culture, but when we got burnt, we put butter on it and it felt better. I burn myself to this day. I get some butter and it feels better. Like I don't blister. I don't know what it is. It could be my mind or whatever, but it helps. It works.
Yeah. Want me to ask the last question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Name a mistake you made in life so others so that other people won't.
Um.
That's pretty deep.
Oh shit. I mean, rob things.
But how have who have you? I mean, I guess maybe that impacted your siblings. They saw the life you lived, so maybe they didn't. Like how? What have you done to make that like maybe you talk to people or encourage them not to do that same thing?
Be ambitious. I remember a time where I wasn't that ambitious, believing in myself.
So other people won't do that.
Okay.
A mistake that you made.
I think you're reading it wrong. I think that it's name a mistake that you did in life so other people won't.
Right. So being ambitious isn't a mistake. You mean not being ambitious?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's I'm about to say, how didn't you understand?
Well, you said be ambitious.
Well, not being ambitious. I said there was a time in my life where I wasn't that ambitious. So I would say that right off the top of my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say for me, not being vocal when I was molested as a child, that empowered me to, as an adult, to try. Now again, you can't like guarantee, but for those who I do encounter,
if you know, you know.
Yeah, to make sure that they feel empowered to speak out and not make the mistake that I did.
If you know
whether a child or a kid.
If you know my wife, you'll know her story.
Yeah.
If you don't know her story, then you really don't know her.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was a mistake that I made that, it's not many things that I regret. And like, cause I always feel like things had to happen that way. And I don't know if I would say it was a regret, but it is something that more times than it should repeats itself in my head, and just thinking of the what ifs. What if things were different? What if, I had said more words? What if, like, what would life be? How would life had transpired differently? So I just try to hope that others don't have to, live with that. I mean, that's like it's almost like secondary trauma from the original trauma, but so yeah, that's that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was just thinking about something there was something in my life I was going to do that my heart was set on, and it was very, very bad, and I didn't do it. Okay. And you spoke about regrets, and it's like I used to regret not doing it right after I didn't do it, but now that I'm older, I'm so glad I didn't.
That you didn't do it. Okay.
So glad that I didn't do it, but I really, really, really was gonna do it, and it would have been bad. That's it. To the podcast, episode 201. Coming to a close. Your boy International Walk.
Your girl Tosh, the coast with the mostest.
Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all them places that you find podcasts that you can find us on. So just look us up, type in Act 2 the podcast, and we'll pop up. If we don't, go to another podcast platform and type in Act 2 the podcast, and we probably will pop up. Hope you like the show. We enjoy bringing you the show. That's it. Act 2 the podcast, episode 201. Coming to a close. If you fuck with us, you fuck with us. If you don't, peace.
You should.